Congratulations on becoming a father. At Dad's Uni, we believe that every man has the potential within them to become a wonderful father to his children. Dad's Uni aims to provide practical biblical training to help young men in growing their families God's way. We hope you find these simple teachings to be both encouraging and informative. Remember, if you enjoy our teachings, please subscribe and like our podcasts, and share them with someone else who also might benefit. Don't forget to check out our free ebooks and blogs on our dadsuni.com website. God bless. John Nolan. Dad's Uni.
Tip 42. Teach your children to respect authority.
Probably one of the most widespread social problems of our day is the lack of respect for authority. This is blatantly evident in the youth culture of today, and is often reinforced by TV programs and music lyrics. We should not be surprised at this, as we are now the second generation since the 60s sexual and drug revolution across the world, and we are reaping the harvest that our parents sowed. In the 60s and 70s, there was a massive shift in social values and core beliefs, and many of the pillars of our society were thrown out and replaced by the philosophy of, if it feels good, do it. One of the major signs of the 60s revolution was the call for rebellion against the man or the structure of society. There is little doubt that these actions were inspired by the evil forces that are at work in the earth today. Forces that are hell-bent on throwing out all God-ordained authority figures and replacing them with their own rule. This is simply a continuation of the age-old battle between good and evil that has been waged since the fall of man in the Garden of Eden. All authority ultimately comes from God, and God has delegated the rule of the earth to man. Governments and laws are established to bring order, provide benefits to the citizens of that country, and to punish those who are lawbreakers. Without a structured government system, society breaks down and chaos rules, which is exactly what the evil forces want to happen. When chaos rules, it becomes the law of the jungle, and only the strong survive. Personal rights and liberties are lost, and the person who has the biggest gun tells you how to live your life. Things like hospitals and schools and roads begin to disappear, and you are told what to do and what to believe. Respect for authority begins in the home. If your children are not taught to show respect for their parents, then they will certainly not show respect for the authorities within government or the church, etc. It is easier for children to show respect to their parents if their parents are loving, fair, and compassionate toward them. The parents also need to practice what they preach if they are to have credibility in the children's eyes. Now, I did not say that the parents need to be perfect, as that is a physical impossibility while we are still on this earth. When our children hear us apologize after we make mistakes, it helps them to see that we are all under God's authority. Respect for authority comes through the realization that they are there to help us, and not just to control us. It is important to reinforce this to your children, especially when they might not always appreciate or agree with decisions made by those in authority. Now, I am not advocating blind obedience to those in authority either, as I believe that those who have the rule over us must be held accountable for their actions also, and it is just as important that your children realize that with authority comes responsibility. Teach your children to honor and respect the authorities in their lives, whether it be teachers, government, police, or church authorities. This will greatly assist them to understand that the structures that have been set up both in heaven and on earth are given to help them in life.
Suggested action.
Explain clearly to your children that all authority comes from God, and as we submit to the authority God has given, we also submit to God.
Scripture references.
Romans chapter 13 verses 1 to 4. Let every soul be subject to the governing authorities. For there is no authority except from God, and the authorities that exist are appointed by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authority resists the ordinance of God, and those who resist will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil. Do you want to be unafraid of the authority? Do what is good, and you will have praise from the same. For he is God's minister to you for good. But if you do evil, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain, for he is God's minister and avenger to execute wrath on him who practices evil. Exodus chapter 20 verse 12. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord your God is giving you.